E3 2011.
Right now, we're going to talk about one of the biggest games at E3, and that is the rebirth of Tomb Raider. Of course, you saw it yesterday, right after Modern Warfare 3 in the Xbox 360 briefing. It's not coming until late 2012, but right now we've got Karl Stewart from Crystal Dynamics with us to talk about Tomb Raider, which has taken this show by storm. Last week, we had an amazing CG trailer that was talk of the internet that you directed to sort of reveal this vision for Laura, and then people were shocked on Monday morning. Then you brought the gameplay to the table. So this is pretty early for a game that's not coming out until late 2012, right?
Yeah, it's very early, but we believe that reimagining an icon like Lara Croft takes time for people to understand the vision and direction we want to go in. So it's about right now introducing you to this young 21-year-old girl embarking on her first journey, and as we get closer to launch, we'll start getting you up to sort of how she becomes that infamous Lara we all want her to be.
So tell us about rebirthing Tomb Raider, because obviously Lara is one of those classic video game characters, but over the years the Tomb Raider games just sort of got progressively worse and worse, and you really did have to do a complete reboot. Tell me about sort of that process of deciding what development team was going to do it, and how you were going to sort of rebuild her, because you have to rebuild the team, the marketing, all these elements, right?
Yeah, well, Crystal Dynamics inherited Tomb Raider from Core way back probably 8 years ago now. We started working on Legend, and we continued the canon from Legend to Anniversary to Underworld, and then we had a little title, Guardian of Light. And really, when we finished Underworld, we decided that we wanted to put our mark on the Tomb Raider franchise. We wanted to show what the studio was made of, and give us the opportunity to go back to the very beginning and tell an origin story which nobody's ever told before.
Right.
And with that comes kind of looking at the pillars of Tomb Raider and making sure that we don't forget who we are. We're still a Tomb Raider experience, but we want to make it modern. We want to make it that people feel the Tomb Raider brand is culturally relevant. And in doing that, we want to get more about the emotion of the character, more about getting into the psychological side of who she is, how she becomes this character. She won't ever be the same character you once remembered.
But the technology is amazing. I mean, this is all your own engine, your own kind of internal technology at Crystal?
Yes, it's actually the Crystal engine which we built Legend, Anniversary, Underworld on.
Yeah.
When we set out with this project, we told the engine team exactly what we wanted to get. Physics is king, realism is king, it's all about emotion. And they really went to bat on building the engine from the ground up and delivering this awesome experience. We're pretty proud of the guys.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I think people were a little surprised to see it on stage with Xbox. Why were you guys there at the Xbox briefing? What was the sort of meaning of that?
We just showed them the game not too long ago, and they were so happy to put it up there with the rest of them. They asked us, would we be interested? And we said, yeah, of course we would. It's great. We want to show the world. It's the 1-2 punch, trailer, then
gameplay.
I'm
sure Sony would have loved to have it there too, so it was nice to see it was on the Xbox stage right after Modern Warfare 3. So
yes, it was a real privilege to have the teams work up there right after Modern Warfare and right beside Mass Effect.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. So tell us a bit about the CG piece that you directed. I know that was a long process working with VisualWorks in Japan to bring that to life. It's such a phenomenal piece, and I think when it hit the internet last week, people were just dazzled by the visuals, because there are lots of great computer-generated trailers, but that one just takes things to the next level with the level of action and the realism. Can you maybe tell us a bit about the making of that? How did it come together?
Yeah, well, thank you. We're pretty proud of it. The team at VisualWorks have done an awesome job. Yes, we're very proud to be able to work with those guys. So when Square Enix purchased Eidos and the Crystal Dynamics, one of the first projects they started working on was Deus Ex, and the work that they do is phenomenal. We were blown away from day one, and obviously we had the option to use many different studios, and we felt these guys had the potential to be able to deliver the realism and the emotion that we wanted to get. And what you see was really kind of saying, instead of just building a traditional gameplay trailer, which I love doing, we've done many in the past, this one we wanted to show sort of a darker emotion, deeper emotion to a character that people have never really seen before. So I kind of treat this a little bit different than just saying it's a game trailer or a video game trailer. It's more about sort of setting up the premise and the story and the grounding for the future of the franchise.
Yeah, it's an amazing piece that we go through. Now, the story of this trailer, is this really sort of what sets up the beginning of the game, or how would this actually be in the game, or?
So we're looking at that right now. The idea I always had was, working with the team in the studio, we had this idea of, this is Lara's first adventure. She steps foot on the ship, the Endurance, and going looking for the lost fleet of the Kublai Khan, east coast of Japan, and obviously everything's happy. She thinks she's going on her first big one, and everything goes horribly wrong within a couple of days. And we tried to sort of condense all of that into an experience of emotion. And through this, we see Lara in ways in which we've never seen her before. We see the fact that she's sort of nearly dies. In the past, Lara would pull out her guns and sort of blow out through the escape route. We wanted to show a side of a character that she's not who we think she is. She doesn't make that leap of faith. She falls. backwards into the water, and then it repositions her on the islands. That's where the journey really begins. That's all about Survivor is Born.
Yeah, well, there was a great demo on Xbox, and all the E3 judges a few weeks ago. We got to see even more of the game and some of the other levels, and it seems like you guys are really far along with this adventure. For folks that didn't see that content, can you maybe tell them a bit about where Laura's adventure is going to take her and the kinds of gameplay we'll see later on in the game?
Yeah, what we've been shown so far is really sort of two of the main three pillars, and that first is that smart resourcefulness. What you saw at the Microsoft conference yesterday was us having to condense our 15, 20-minute experience into about 5.5 minutes, so it was very hard to see everything we have in that area. But that area alone is all about the resourcefulness of building blocks of sort of how Lara interacts with the world, how physics play. And then we move into the next stage, which we're showing behind closed doors right now, which is all about exploration, dynamic traversal, where we really give the player freedom to be able to move around spaces with ease, with action-centric movement. Although we're not an open-world game, we want that immersive, dynamic story. We want to move away from where we were in the past, which is all about the binary movements. Now it's about action-centric freedom. It's a very different take on the franchise, I have to say.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. You know, it's amazing to see the visuals and you know, where you're taking the narrative as well, which I think is something that people are excited to see where you go with it. And the puzzle elements, like this sequence that I got to play a few weeks ago, was you know, super cool to be able to, you know, be in there and puzzle around an environment that is, you know, so visually rich. Reminds me a lot of what the Uncharted games have done, and I can't wait to check this out next year. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. When are we going to see this game again? Because it's not coming out till late 2012, so the fans, I think, saw this. They're like, oh my god, I want to see more. Is it going to be a little while now? You're going to go into your foxhole?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to say we're going to go a little bit quiet now for a while. Only because I think it takes time for people to digest and understand where we want to go with it. Next time we come back, we want to move into that next bigger stage about how she's evolved a little bit on the islands and sort of take that story a step further. Ultimately, throughout the campaign, we will stop it at a point in time where we won't give any teasers or leaks away. So to us, we're going to go quiet probably for the next couple of months at least.
Interesting. All right, well, we'll keep the powder dry for a little bit. Justine, I know a lot of people online are big fans of Tomb Raider. What are they saying? What questions do they have for Karl?
Actually, a lot of people are asking this. Mark G on Facebook, who was Lara Croft been modeled after, and are there any high-profile voice actors in the cast?
So we made a decision. That's a two-part question. Second one is, we made the decision that no, we wouldn't have any high-profile actors or actresses in the cast, just purely because we wanted the story to stand out on its own. We wanted the performance to be king and not be overshadowed by, I know that person or I know that name. So that's kind of one of the big things for us. The first one again?
Oh, but who she model after?
Oh, who she model after? We actually haven't modeled her after one particular person. Our art director, Brian Horton, has carefully brought Lara to life using sort of different sort of assets, faces, making a very unique look. And I think that certainly is. Hopefully, there's no girl out there who's going to appear and go, "Hey, look, it's me." We didn't model it off any one person.
I'm sure there'll definitely be somebody who resembles her.
Yeah,
and
no
that'll
doubt,
be.
no
You'll
doubt.
find that soon. We have another one here. Nikos D, are any of the environments going to affect Laura's behavior in any way?
Yes, we will reveal more of that later in the year, but it's a very immersive story, so obviously everything that goes on in the world can be a persistent world, and it will affect character play as well as the whole storyline.
Let's see. Nikos also has another question. Love the new dark atmosphere in the demo. Is there going to be any relation to the horror game?
No,
genre,
we kind of make sure that we're more of a survival adventure, action adventure. We're not going to be into that horror, gruesome. It is going to be an immersive story about survival. It's about a character's journey from landing in this place, sort of, you know, young, gritty, but sort of determined to stay alive all the way through to becoming that infamous Lara Croft we want her to be.
Another one from Twitter. Deadman DRB wants to know, how did the change in direction come about?
Well, as mentioned, once we finished Underworld, we took a step aside and thought we want to put our mark on it. We want to show a very different side to Tomb Raider, one that hasn't really been exposed before. It's, you know, Lara in the past has become somewhat of a caricature of herself, and people didn't really have that affinity anymore. I know there's a lot of fans out there who really loved where Lara was, but we felt that we needed to go and sort of bring it to a broader market, really bring out an appeal of Lara that people have never seen before, sort of more of a psychological effect and also sort of that emotional effect.
All right, here's another one. We've got from Prince of Price 101 on Twitter. Can we expect any Kinect functionality in Tomb Raider?
No, we've been sort of making it pretty public that we've sort of stepped away from trying to tailor the experience, which the true experience is all about the player being immersed into that world. And we don't believe right now that we've found the right model to be able to sort of take people out of the experience and have them jumping around. There's nothing to say that in the future we may not look at other Lara experiences, but right now I think people who've experienced the game feel that it would be the right thing to just break it apart.
Jordy4G on Twitter says, any dinosaurs in the game? Remember the original Tomb Raider?
I get that question a lot. There's no dinosaurs, and world reveal, there's no swimming either.
Let's see if we have any other Twitter questions here.
I have one for you, Karl. The voice, I know a lot of people have asked me, in the CG trailer, there's obviously a new voice for Laura. Can you tell anyone about who that is? I've got that question a lot on Twitter.
No, I actually spoke to her last week. We only just signed her. I can't tell you who she is. I have to be very careful I don't let it out by mistake.
But it's not a celebrity or anyone?
No, she's an upcoming star. We're very proud and privileged to be working with her, but no, we're going to announce that in the near future.
Excellent. All right, well, cool. It's good to hear Laura's new voice.